this week, my sound advice is lesson 2, make a decision. Okay. So I remember when I was 19 years old, green as winter grass in England. And I started in my first leadership position at Coles as a duty manager. At the beginning of the first shift, I had a conversation with the store manager in which he gave me a basic rundown of the day and what to expect for the night. And then at the end of it, after I'd asked the questions I asked him, is there anything else I need to know? And then he looked me straight in the eye and he said, yes. You're going to have to make decisions in this role, so make a decision. It doesn't matter if it's the wrong decision, make a decision. We'll deal with the consequences afterwards if it is the wrong decision, but you need to make a decision. You are the leader. That's what you need to do, because people are looking to you to make decisions. And then when you make it, follow through with it. And when he told me that, I relaxed a little because I knew that he would have my back regardless of the decision I made, as long as I made one confidently, maturely, sensibly, and decisively. And that's what I want to tell the listeners of this episode today. In your life, you're going to have to make decisions. Some of them are easy, some of them are not. And some of them are the most difficult decisions anyone has ever had to make. You will eventually encounter those decisions in your life, and you will need to be prepared and practiced at making decisions after thinking about it, after using your emotions about it. You're going to have to make a decision. You're going to have to make it. So you need to learn how to do it. And here's a couple of reasons that you need to be decisive. Number 1, decision moves you forward. One of the worst things you can do in life is be stagnant. Stagnant water gets contaminated and kills those who drink it. If you're ever walking past a still body of water like a pond, and one of your mates wants to drink that water,
Nope.
You need to smack him in the back of the fucking head. You do not drink still water. You can drink river water because it's moving. All the toxins are moving out. Like, river water's okay, unless you're in certain places where it's not.
Melbourne.
Yeah. Don't drink the Yarra River
Don't
water.
go jumping in the Yarra.
Or maybe do. See what happens.
Film it. Send
See
it
what
to
happens.
us.
Don't say that I said you should. Now, stagnant people are no different. They rot away physically, mentally, literally, and metaphorically. When you meet them, they are lost. And when you eventually leave them, they are in exactly the same place, nowhere. If you have a decision to make, whether to buy a car or not, take a job or not, date a person or not, you need to think about it, research it, mull it over using your intellect and your emotions to inform your decision. But once that's done, make a call and stick with it. And this is especially true for young men. And I say that only because I've learnt the hard way not to tell women what to do. It just doesn't work.
Just give your
But
opinion.
men, fucking listen up. You need to make a decision. Because if you don't, you will stay where you are while everyone and everything moves forward around you, essentially meaning that you are moving backwards. In Alice in Wonderland, the Queen of Hearts says to Alice, "My dear, here we have to run as fast as we can, just to stay in place. And if you wish to go anywhere, you must run twice as fast as that." This for me is a great summary of life, that you have to run you have to run as fast as you can just to keep up with life, and run even faster to move forward past the average. Decisions are what get you there, to your goal, and then to the next one, and then the next. Now you might say, but Jonesy, what if I confidently make the wrong decision and end up in a worse place than where I started? Now that's certainly a possibility, but I would rather be in a worse place because of something I did rather than something I didn't do, because then I can learn and make a different choice. And you also have to think about this. If you develop the practice of making decisions and sticking by them, when you make the wrong decision, which you eventually will, everyone does, you'll be better at changing course and getting to the right decision as soon as you've identified that you've made the wrong one. Whereas if you stay in place and do nothing, not wanting to offend, not wanting to take a risk, not wanting to make a mistake, then when you eventually do make a wrong decision, which you will, because we all do, you'll be stuck again in front of the decision to correct course, doing nothing again, because you're afraid to move again. So make a decision, because number one, decision moves you forward. Number 2, people find decisiveness attractive. Whether it's in a romantic relationship or a business relationship or among friends, people are always looking for leaders. Here's what I mean. Got a question for you, Starry.
Yeah, mate.
Have you ever been in a mate's house or pre-drinks before going out and someone asks, hey guys, it's usually a girl, hey guys, where should we go? Like the bar or the pub or straight to the nightclub? Have you ever had that?
Yeah, 100%.
Right? And then everyone looks around for 10 minutes thinking about the answer they want to give.
Until someone says it.
But they're not saying it because someone might disagree with them, right? Or you're playing Fortnite or PUBG or another FPS, MMO. Apex Legends. And someone asks where the next target is, what the next mission should be, or what the next strategy should be, right? And nobody wants to make the call again because they're afraid of disagreement or of leading the crew into a complete failure of a mission. But nobody feels the same way when they're playing single-player campaign. They just go forward into failure until they succeed. And nobody does the same thing when the night is planned out. It's when the decisions need to be made and leadership needs to appear that people's lack of decisiveness comes out, waiting for someone else to direct their night or direct their lives. People want to be led. I want to be led. You want to be led. Everyone wants to be led, but we need correct leadership, mature leadership, right leadership. And even in your own life, you need to be able to be a leader of both people and yourself. And you need to be okay, and that's very important. You need to be a leader to yourself. And you need to be okay with the fact that you're going to make mistakes and sometimes you're going to make the wrong decision. But the wrong decision, in my opinion at least, maybe not yours, that's okay. The wrong decision is better than no decision. So make a decision. And number 3, and the last one, is learning and self-confidence. The last thing I'll say on this is that when you make a decision, you'll make mistakes. Then you'll correct them. Then after a while, you'll learn which decisions are the right ones. But more importantly, you'll develop self-confidence. You'll begin to trust yourself. Not self-esteem given to you by your sweet little teachers and your really sweet mum because she really loves you and she thinks you're the best. None of that bullshit, because that shit doesn't matter in the real world. What matters is that you develop self-confidence, which you earn yourself, and that nobody can take away from you by giving you insults instead of compliments. When you learn to make a decision and push forward with it, you stop needing to look to others to help you make decisions like children do. And you start making them for yourself like adults do. And you start trusting yourself and the decision that you've made and that it's in your best interest. So, Starry, that is it for this week's.
I'm going to keep going on that a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, people are drawn to leaders, like you said.
Absolutely.
Yeah, people are attracted, they're drawn to leaders.
Yep.
Like if you stand up, if you're that person out of that group that decides, let's all go to the pub first. We'll go to the pub for an hour, then we'll head down to the club for like at 10 or whatever.
Yep.
That person for the rest of the night will be the next time they have a question. The next time they want to go, where should we go next? They're just going to ask you. And people are drawn towards leaders.
And just on that, when you take the responsibility for making decisions onto yourself, when you say, all right, guys, let's go to the pub, yeah? And then we'll go to the nightclub afterwards. We're going to the pub. Then when you're at the pub, people will come up to you, not because you've been nominated democratically necessarily, although that can happen, but because you said, hey, fuck indecision, fuck stagnancy, fuck just staying where we are. Let's fucking go to the pub. People see that when you take that responsibility and you own the night, you own the consequences for everyone around you. And then you say, let's go to the pub. They don't like the pub. All right, I fucked up. You fucking own it. And then you go to the nightclub. You do something else.
2 steps forward, 1 step back.
That's
you can
right.
always take a step back. You can always go, all right, that was wrong. Let's take a step back.
Yep.
But always put yourself 2 steps forward.
Yep, exactly.
Always take that time.
And then, as I said before, when you make a decision and it's the wrong decision, you'll get better at catching that and then making the right
History
decision.
repeats itself.
Yeah.
You won't make the wrong decision twice, but if you don't make a decision at all, you're bound to make that wrong decision eventually.
Yep, exactly.
So you might as well make that wrong decision straight away.
Exactly.
I love it. That's perfect, Jonesy.
Thanks, man. I appreciate that.